Hi, in today's lecture I will be focusing on the following topics. Firstly, there will be a discussion on the frequency conversion, and then I will do some discussion on noise and transceivers, and then there will be some numericals. So we can start now. What is a frequency conversion? It is basically transforming a modulated signal to a high or low frequency value and keeping into view that no original information is disturbed in that signal. And frequency conversion can be done in two ways. Either it can be a down conversion, converting a high frequency signal into a lower or intermediate frequency signal, like in radio receivers, or like in satellite communication, doing the up conversion where the original signal is generated at a lower frequency and then up conversion is done to a high frequency before transmitting it via the antenna in the environment. A mixing usually is based on the principle of amplitude modulation, where signals are mixed up and sidebands are generated, and its principle can be also explained as heterodynamic principle, which is explained in the future slides. Usually what happens in the mixer is that it accepts two inputs. One input is the original modulating signal input and the other input is from a local oscillator, and it does their multiplication and then the output is generated. The output of the mixer then can have multiple values, and we can see its operation in this figure over here. Here you can see that input is being applied on the mixer and it is also receiving some signal from the local oscillators, and it is generating four signals at its output. One is the original input signal, the other one is the original local oscillator signal, and then the other two signals are the sum and differences of these two signals. And then we have a tuned circuit or a filter, and whose purpose is to select from these two signals one signal, and which signal is the intermediate frequency signal. So this is the concept of a mixer explained by this diagram. Mixers are usually non-linear in nature, where their output is not dependent linearly on their input, and they are most commonly a kind of simple diode modulators. The mixer of a diode mixer is a kind of mixer where the input is applied to a primary winding of the transformer, like in this over here circuit, and the signal is coupled to the secondary winding and applied to the diode mixer, and the local oscillator signal is coupled to the diode by a way of a capacitor, and the input and the local oscillators are linearly added and applied to the diode, which produce the sum and different frequencies. The output signals are developed across the tuned circuit, which selects a different frequency, difference frequency. So all this literature is about the diode mixer, which is a kind of mixer which is explained over here. This is a diagram of a uh, normally used mixer, which is a simple diode mixer. It is not quite popular, but it is a common kind of mixer. And here you can see the input is coming over here, and we have a transformer over here. So this input is coming from here, and then we have a local oscillator via capacitor is connected to a diode. So what is happening over here in the diode mixer? The input coming from here and the local oscillator input coming from here, and then these two are being linearly added in the diode, and then we have these two frequencies which are coming over here at this point, and then we have a tuned circuit which is selecting from these two frequencies the one frequency which is suitable for the future circuits. Diode mixer, after the diode mixer circuit we have various kind of mixer circuits which are used nowadays, in which we have a singly balanced mixer which is containing of about two diodes. It is quite popular. And then we have a doubly balanced mixer which is used for very high frequency or ultra high frequencies or micro wave level frequencies. We have also the FET mixers which have a low noise attitude and offer a perfect square law response, that is square law response. We have also IC mixers, and we have some image reject filters as well, and these are their diagrams. We have circuits based on construction of LC tuned circuit. We have LC tuned circuit based oscillators or mixers, in which by varying the values of inductance and capacitance we can change the output frequency of the oscillator or the mixer. We can also have the variable frequency oscillators or mixer, in which by varying the voltage we can change the value of the frequency of the output of the oscillator or the mixer. This is a kind of circuit diagram of a voltage variable frequency oscillator, which is also called a variable frequency mixer. And we have also frequency synthesizers, which are the most commonly used in nowadays receivers, and it is based on phase locked loop, in which by controlling the phase or by changing the phase we are able to control the frequency of oscillation of the oscillator or the mixer, and these are called frequency synthesizers and most commonly used kind of oscillators or mixers nowadays. This is a diagram in which you can see their operation of these kind of mixers of based on the frequency synthesizers. So now we will be focusing on the next topic, which is the noise, which is a kind of signal which is present in the environment, and when a transmitter sends a signal to the receiver, the purpose of noise is to attenuate or distort that signal, and its behavior is quite, it is not as same as the interference generated by some other information signals. It is itself, the noise is a kind of independent kind of signal, or it is a kind of random independent signal. And when noise interact with some voice signal, it creates a kind of grumbled voice, or when some kind of video signal, it is a kind of behavior like there are some pieces of snow coming on the screen of the TV, and it is the noise level is directly proportional to the temperature, the bandwidth, the amount of current flowing in a component, the gain of the circuit, and the resistance of the circuit. This is a very important terminology, which is a signal to noise ratio, and it indicates it is a ratio of the signal to the noise of a communication system, and more the value of the signal to noise ratio, the better it is, and it is also called a power ratio. Then we have external noise, which is we have noise of two types. One is the external one and other is the internal noise. So external noise is a noise which comes from sources over which we have no or little control, like the industrial sources like motors, generators, manufacturing equipment of the surroundings. We have the atmospheric sources, in which we have different aspects which are involved in the on the surface of the earth, which are generating some kind of noise. And then we have some noise which are produced by the space entities. So these are the noise which are generated from these sources is referred as external noise. Then we have internal noise, which is a noise which is due to the resistors, diodes, transistors. Due to these irregularities in these devices, we have some noise, and this noise can be a thermal noise, which is resulting due to the temperature increase in a circuit, or it can be a semiconductor noise, which is due to their irregularities in the semiconductor structure. And then we have some intermodulation distortion. This is a kind of internal noise. This is a noise which is generated when two different frequency signals interact with an interference. This the interference, which is usually generated by a signal which is a sum and difference of the frequency of those signals. So that is intermodulation distortion. Then we have various ways of representing the noise levels. We have the noise factor, which is the ratio of the signal to noise power at the input side to the signal to noise power at the output side. We can also express this noise factor in decibel calculations, and it is referred to as a new terminology which is called noise figure. And most of the noise produced in a device is thermal, which is directly proportional to the temperature. Therefore, the noise temperature term is also introduced over here. We have a SINET terminology, which is abbreviation of the composite signal plus noise and distortion divided by noise, and distortion contributed by the receiver. Noise has its greatest impact at the input of the receiver. So, the performance of the receiver is usually determined in the first stage of the receiver, which is usually the RF stage of the mixer. Then we have a other topic, which is the transceiver. Usually we study the transmitters used for transmission purposes. The receiver is doing the reception of the signal, and then we have the transceivers, which is doing both kind of operations. A device which is doing the operations of the transmitter as well as the receiver is said to as a transceiver. And these transceivers can be very large, these can be very small. They have their own housing and they have their own power supply, and they can be variable in cost, and they are usually employed in the circuits in order to do the cost saving at the side of making dedicated receiver. Instead of making dedicated receiver or transmitters, we have one transceiver circuit which is sharing some circuit both for the transmitter and receiver operations by employing some relays in the circuit. So this is a kind of diagram which is demonstrating a transceiver circuit diagram. In this diagram you can see there are multiple local oscillators, we have multiple transceivers, we have multiple receivers, and there is a switching operation which is performed over here, and on the basis of some programming over here the switching operation is executed, and then we have at one time one transceiver and one transmitter and a receiver over here. So then we have some problems over here, and for those problems there are some formulas which are formulas of noise voltage, the noise power, and some temperature equivalence calculations. So you can skip the example number 9.1 and you can do 9.2 to 9.6 examples over here, and this is just a calculation of the noise voltage, and this formula is containing the Boltzmann constant, the temperature, the bandwidth, the resistance, and putting these values over here and calculating the noise voltage over here. And then we have another numerical in which we are doing the Kelvin calculations of the temperature, putting those values to calculate the noise voltage, which is the thermal noise voltage. Then in this numerical we have temperature which is given to us in the Fahrenheit scale, and we have to convert it into Celsius scale and then to Kelvin scale, and then we have a formula for the noise power. We are putting the values in that formula and we are calculating the noise power over here. And then we are calculating over here in this numerical, we are given the signal to noise ratio at the input side and the signal to noise ratio at the output side. We are taking their calculation, taking into account their ratio and doing the calculation, and we are able to calculate the NR, which is the noise ratio, and then the NF. We are taking this value, which is 1.33. We are transforming that value into decibel calculation to calculate the NF, which is the noise figure over here. And then we have another numerical in which we are able to calculate the noise voltage, we are able to calculate the noise power, and then we are able to calculate the signal to noise ratio and the noise figure and the noise ratio, and then the temperature of the noise. And these kind of numericals, the formulas of these numericals are given in the book. From there you can get help, and we can also discuss those in our lecture. Thank you very much.